The wind howls through a frozen valley in Eurasia. Snowflakes drift silently over ancient stones, untouched for tens of thousands of years. Beneath the surface, buried in ice and time, lies a secret, one that has haunted scientists, historians, and geneticists for over a century. It's not just a mystery of bones, it's a mystery of blood, of memory, of who we truly are. For decades, we thought we knew them. Brutish, primitive, a dead end on the human family tree. The Neanderthals vanished from the Earth nearly 40,000 years ago. But now, something has changed. Deep inside a forgotten cave, a single fragment of bone, just a sliver, was pulled from the earth, sent to a lab, examined under powerful microscopes. What it revealed was nothing short of staggering. The results are in. Ancient DNA has spoken. And the truth it tells could rewrite everything we thought we knew about human evolution. Where did the Neanderthals come from? How did they live? And are they truly gone? Or do they live on, inside us? This is the story of a discovery that will shake the foundations of our identity. The forgotten cousins of humanity are about to speak. And their message is one the world has never heard before. Who were the Neanderthals, really? And what secrets does their DNA still hold? In 1856, inside the limestone walls of a German quarry, workers stumbled upon something strange. Bones unlike any seen before. Heavy brow ridges, a thick skull, short, powerful limbs. At first, they were dismissed as diseased humans, relics of some ancient illness. But as similar remains surfaced across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, a new picture began to form. These were not anomalies. They were a people. The Neanderthals. They thrived for over 300,000 years, longer than Homo sapiens have existed. They hunted mammoths, crafted tools, controlled fire, even buried their dead. And yet, around 40,000 years ago, they vanished. No cities, no writing, no explanation. Just silence. For decades, the dominant theory was extinction by competition. Modern humans outsmarted them, outbred them, and pushed them into oblivion. But scattered clues began to challenge that narrative. A skull in Spain, a tooth in Croatia, a child's finger bone in Siberia, each whispering a different version of history. With the rise of genetic science, a new frontier opened, the ability to read the molecular signature of ancient life. And in the double helix of Neanderthal DNA, scientists found something astonishing. Not a separate species, but something closer, much closer. As labs raced to decode this legacy, one truth emerged with clarity. The story of the Neanderthals is far from over. It was never about extinction. It was about transformation. It began with a single fragment. Deep in the Denisova Cave, hidden in the Altai Mountains of Siberia, archaeologists uncovered a tiny shard of bone, so small it almost went unnoticed. It was a child's finger, no bigger than a coin, and yet it held the power to open a door into the distant past. Radiocarbon dating placed it at over 80,000 years old. But it wasn't the age that stunned researchers. It was the genetic code locked within. Extracted with painstaking care in sterile conditions, the ancient DNA revealed something extraordinary. Not Homo sapiens, not fully Denisovan, but something in between. The sequence bore distinct Neanderthal markers, strong, unmistakable. This one fragment proved what many had only speculated. Neanderthals had been here, not in the periphery of Europe, but deep into Asia. The implications were staggering. If Neanderthals had roamed this far east, how far had they really spread? And if they had encountered other hominins, like Denisovans or even early modern humans, what had happened next? Suddenly, the image of isolated, doomed cavemen began to crumble. They had migrated, adapted, interacted, maybe even loved. With every new bone, every flake of DNA, the story expanded. This was no static people frozen in time. The Neanderthals were dynamic, complex, and this discovery was just the beginning. In sterile laboratories shielded from even the smallest contaminant, the ancient samples were prepared. Tooth enamel, bone powder, mitochondrial traces, all passed through sequencers capable of decoding genetic material tens of thousands of years old. At the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Leipzig, Germany, a team led by Dr. Svante Pääbo embarked on a mission no one had ever completed: to reconstruct a full Neanderthal genome. It was a puzzle with millions of pieces, many degraded, fragmented by time and the elements. Every sequence had to be cross-checked, validated, and compared not only to modern humans, but also to primates, Denisovans, and early sapiens. The process took years, yet the deeper they looked, the clearer the picture became. Neanderthals weren't just a parallel species, they were kin, genetic cousins. And somewhere along the evolutionary timeline, they had met us. But when? Where? And under what circumstances? Clues emerged from cave sediments, tools, even proteins extracted from fossilized remains. But one obstacle remained, proving that the DNA found in modern humans didn't just resemble Neanderthal code, but came directly from it. Only with this connection could they prove the unthinkable: that the Neanderthals never truly vanished, that their legacy lives on, inside our very cells. The evidence was no longer theoretical. After sequencing the full Neanderthal genome, scientists compared it to the DNA of modern humans from around the world. What they found was shocking. Up to 2% of the genetic code in people of European and Asian descent matched Neanderthal DNA, identical sequences passed down through thousands of generations. This wasn't a coincidence. It was inheritance. Proof that Homo sapiens and Neanderthals had not only met, but interbred. Across cold plains and forested valleys, these two human lineages had crossed paths, sometimes violently, sometimes intimately. Their genes merged, traits were exchanged, immunity to disease, adaptations to cold climates, even elements of brain function and skin tone. Neanderthal DNA lives on in all of us, influencing everything from how we fight infections to how we sleep. This revelation upended the idea of a clean evolutionary divide. Instead, it told a story of entanglement, of connection. We are not the pure, linear descendants of a single ancestral line. We are mosaics, a living archive of ancient encounters. And just when researchers thought they'd reached the limit of discovery, another twist emerged. A second, deeper signal in the genome. Could there have been more interbreeding than we ever imagined? Were there even more lost species in our past, still hidden in our blood? Now, with DNA as their guide, scientists began to reconstruct what truly happened tens of thousands of years ago. The Ice Age world was harsh. Glaciers dominated the landscape, herds of mammoth roamed the tundra, and survival demanded intelligence, cooperation, and resilience. Into this unforgiving environment came Homo sapiens, newcomers from Africa, armed with language, strategy, and tools of stone and bone. But they weren't alone. Across Europe and Asia, they encountered the Neanderthals, stocky, strong, and already adapted to the cold. For a time, the two species coexisted. They shared hunting grounds, followed the same migratory paths, and eventually shared more. In caves lit by firelight, bonds were formed. Genetic exchange occurred not once, but repeatedly, over millennia. Children were born, hybrids, carrying the legacy of both lineages. And while the Neanderthals, as a distinct group, faded from the fossil record, their essence endured, encoded in our DNA. Modern humans inherited not just genes, but instincts, strengths, and vulnerabilities shaped by ancient survival. Through genomic time travel, we now glimpse those moments, the tension of first contact, the blending of tribes, the merging of destinies. The extinction of the Neanderthals was not the end. It was a transformation, a convergence, a new beginning. Today, as we look in the mirror, we no longer see a single origin story. We see layers. Beneath our skin, in the code of our cells, echoes of ancient ancestors still whisper. The Neanderthals were not the beasts we once believed. They were thinkers, makers, survivors, and part of them still walks the earth, in each heartbeat, each breath, each spark of instinct. This discovery doesn't just reshape our understanding of prehistory, it redefines what it means to be human. We are not a finished product, but a living experiment, forged by ice, fire, and time. The past is not buried. It is alive within us. And the more we explore our genetic history, the more we uncover truths not just about them, but about ourselves. What else lies waiting in our DNA? What other ancient voices have yet to be heard? As science pushes further into the unknown, one thing is clear. The story of human evolution is far from over. It is still being written. With every genome sequenced, every fossil unearthed, every mystery cracked open by curiosity and reason. So if this glimpse into our prehistoric legacy fascinated you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into the forgotten secrets of our species. Because the past is never really past, and the truth, as we've just seen, is always far stranger than fiction.